3, 2, 1, action.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Sorry, my voice cracked like a fucking prepubescent 12-year-old. What the hell happened? That was horrible. Can we restart?
Yeah,
Can we restart?
Yeah, do that.
No, we're
That's been recorded.
We're keeping that. I guess.
Let me do that. Welcome everyone to another episode of Off Track.
Yeah, make sure you go low.
Yeah, very low.
Definitely counteract my highs. That was
Here's
terrible.
apparently my 10-year-old co-host, Matty Mayhem. My name is Moises. Welcome to episode, what is it, 8, 7?
7.
9, 10, 7.
Seven of
Episode
Off Track.
7, lucky 7, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Man.
So
I was out of it all day today, man.
Yeah, Moy ate an edible earlier, and it was a bad idea. I didn't know if he was gonna make this podcast or not. Like 2 hours ago.
Wow.
It was getting bad. Is your Moy cutting out again?
Yeah. But he said he basically said that I was acting really bitchy. So.
Oh, really?
I don't know
So it's
why.
like, this is a suppository, but just
Yeah.
go ahead and eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
he
will
basically
help.
said that.
Yeah.
It's fine, whatever.
Funny.
But I was out of it for like hours, dude.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I don't get to partake in. Was it a gummy or one of the chocolate ones?
Yeah,
It was
it
a
got
gummy.
me. It was only
Oh,
8
yeah.
milligrams.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't take much to fucking get me.
No.
That's one of the wonders. Because I don't do it
Yeah.
often.
Well, once you hit puberty, it'll take more.
Well, I mean, tell Matt that.
Yeah.
Once we both hit puberty, apparently.
You know?
On the podcast today, we have Revolta.
There we go.
What's up?
Woo.
Hey.
What's
All
up,
right.
guys? We have Leo
Hello.
and James
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes.
We
Leo's
have-
a singer
We have name tags.
and
too.
guitarist.
And guitarist.
Oh, you made name tags for him. That's
Oh, are we
nice.
supposed to wear those?
No. No, we know you guys. So.
And as always, our producer Isaac. Are your headphones
Yeah.
fucked up, Isaac?
Hi, Isaac.
Hi,
He's
Isaac's
He's hiding
off.
over there.
Hey.
Isaac's under the tree, so.
Yeah, he's in the dark over there.
Oh, hey guys, there we go.
Yeah, buddy.
There he is.
There he
Revolta, what do you guys consider yourselves? What kind of
Well,
music? It's like rock, indie
know,
rock? or-
Marv.
We call it Marv.
Yeah.
Marv.
So
Marv.
it's melodic, alternative rock fusion.
Okay.
Because we don't know what the hell we are really.
Yeah.
You know, it was
You
one
all
of those
come from
things
different
where
backgrounds in
we-
music? Or
Yeah, different
Yeah.
backgrounds in music.
Jazz?
Everything for me.
The 7-string, like.
Jazz, a lot of classic rock, a lot of prog. I've done everything pretty much. So I'm talking about music.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For
Right.
now, later.
Moy's not when he
will be
says
the
that,
other
by the
stuff.
way.
No, he's
Moy's definitely not.
Not what?
Never mind.
Yeah, moving right along. Yeah.
And you're
Shit.
from a metal background.
Yes. Well, when I'm in my early ages, my dad taught me to play country music.
Ugh.
Oh,
My old-
puberty hitting this guy too.
My older brother gave me a Metallica CD, and that was it for me. I started playing when I was about 6 years old. So. I
Yeah,
started playing
country's,
metal.
country's the only shit I can't listen to.
It's okay. I like it. When I get drunk, I like to listen to something that I can listen to, and it's slow, and I get slow when I get drunk, so I can understand.
Is that why you're not allowed to drink before shows?
Yes.
Like, this guy cannot keep a beat. Jesus Christ, catch
No,
up.
no. I think there's a joke with James. It's like, oh my God, your drummer. He's been like, has he been drinking? I'm like, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll slow down just a little bit.
Yeah,
It's,
because
uh,
otherwise it's like, yeah, no, it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah,
Yes,
going from
it's good.
double bassing to not double bassing is a little different.
Oh no, he double basses.
No,
Oh, during the.
That was one of the
Yeah.
requirements.
Yeah,
One-
it-
For your double bass?
It was a requirement for us. Double bass, bring the triplets.
yeah, they want
And
footwork.
do it.
More
Yeah.
footwork than it is up top. So
Yeah.
that's what I am doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I told him when he came on, if he was hitting the snare too much, I'd take it away from him. So it's like a lot of footwork,
that guy,
a lot
the
of
last the
stuff.
guy in your last show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Revolta.
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 He had to throw that
I think
out
that was a
there.
Revolta moment.
Safe word. Safe word. Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah,
James,
that works great.
James he's such a great crossover too with everything he does. Like we love the metal and the hard background that he has, that he brings to everything
Nice.
that we do, because it's a prerequisite for us.
Yeah.
What did you start out
Because-
playing?
Well, I'll take this to a sad place real quick.
Uh-oh.
That I started
Well,
playing
you guys
guitar.
are going to relate then, because that's all
Yeah,
he
we-
fucking does.
We need Kleenexes.
Oh,
Yeah.
We gotta
All
have
right.
the Kleenexes,
All
guys.
right, we'll share clothing and stuff
Okay.
later. Yeah, no, well, you know, rough childhood, immigrant parents, fighting a lot. So, you know, a lot of times I would close the door and just sit in the bedroom and just kind of wait for it all to go down. But I remember at one point I found there's a guitar under the bed, and there was a Mel Bay guitar book. I was like 8 years old, so I pulled the guitar out and I started playing Love Me Tender. So it was like old, kind of classical, kind of like old classic Elvis kind of stuff. And I had to teach myself the notes and then teach myself the guitar so that I could make
Yeah.
anything. But I had plenty of time because my parents were going at it for hours at a time all the time. So for me, I cut my teeth on playing orally, Love Me Tender, listened to a lot of Slim Whitman,
You were how old?
you know, that kind of stuff. I was about eight when I picked that up. And then about 2 years after that, my guitar sitting on a chair, and I bumped the chair. And I watched it in slow motion. It took about a week. And it hit the floor, and the tension that got on the strings from it hitting just snapped the headstock right off the neck. And I was like, oh.
That's such a bummer as a kid.
That was like my one release.
Yeah.
You know, that was like the only thing that I had. And then so I remembered, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So there was this like guitar place that was having a concert outside and everything, and they were gonna raffle away a guitar, or basically give away a guitar. So I talked my parents into dropping me off there, and the Washburn girls were there. Lita Ford was gonna be there, and she was gonna sing a song, and she was gonna present the guitar. And I'm like, Lita Ford. I'm like, rock. I don't know who this is. So like, I'm trying to find out, because this is in like 1990 or something, and there's no
you had to go to
internet
the
yet. Al Gore
library.
hasn't made the internet yet,
Yeah.
you know. And so I'm like, oh, they did that song with Ozzy Osbourne. This is so cool. Long story short, I'm this poor little kid at this guitar shop with this awesome concert and everybody there, and I win this Yamaha electric guitar.
Oh,
And Lita Ford hands it to me and kisses me on the cheek.
And that was set in stone.
And I'm like, all right, this
is meant
it.
to be.
This is it, you know. So from doing that, it was like I got a cheap Canadian amp, and it was like feedback heaven. It was rock every day after school. I'm playing like AC/DC and Metallica, and also a lot of blues kind of stuff too. I had
Your
like a lot
parents
of
didn't
blues.
lose
so
their
rock.
minds? You
They
playing
weren't
this-
there. They
Oh,
were,
man.
luckily at that point I'm like, cool, they're not here. I could do whatever I want. So and I didn't know any better, so I just stayed home, played guitar and played rock, and I was in a high school rock band. That was what I did. That was my thing. I had hair to here, and
oh wow.
I was a wimp to have tattoos. So for, like when we'd play shows and stuff, I would write stuff on my arms, and it was kind of lame looking back, but. So that was that, and then I went to playing bass guitar in a reggae band, and then I played guitar in a rock reggae band, and then I played this folk band. I started playing bluegrass, and I picked up banjo, and then I was out in Florida just before I moved out here playing in a kind of like a fusion jazz band, and I always
love
wanted to
jazz.
sing and play guitar. I never sang until this band, so I did backup vocals and that kind of thing. But yeah, I guess we could talk about how this band formed.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
actually,
if you
what the
want.
name?
What age did you guys start at?
You want to go first?
Sure. So I started playing drums probably about the age of 6.
Damn, everybody
Yeah.
started so early.
My dad, I'm like a third generation drummer. My dad played drums. His dad played bass and was into music. So it's been in my family for
Yeah, my dad
forever.
played drums too. I didn't start
Yeah.
till like 11 or 12 though.
I started very early because he had a vision, me and my brother. My first job was we were roadies. We brought all the equipment in, set it up, did sound check, and when they played their
Free
country
labor.
stuff,
Yeah.
We were the sound check guys, and we did all the work.
When you
and-
said he had a vision, I was thinking Jackson 5.
That's what I was
but
thinking,
no,
too.
He's thinking
I
child
was like,
labor.
oh shit,
Yeah.
Joe Jackson.
Yeah. Well, it was that, and I grew up in Texas, so you could bring your kids to the bars, man.
Yeah.
And we would play pool all night long and dance with the girls and do all kinds of crazy stuff and go to school the next day and in the week and be like, yeah, this is what we did. And I loved it.
Yeah.
You just play drums?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I started playing bass a little bit, and my brother was like, no, play the drums.
He was thinking about being a musician, and then he's like, no, I'm just going to stick to drums.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yes.
Fuck you guys.
Damn.
One day.
That
one
is
day.
the saying, right? Are you a drummer or are you a musician? So I didn't say
shit.
it.
Here's a funny fact, guys. Check this out. So you're playing drums.
Hey,
they-
drummers are the hardest to find, by the way. By the way.
Yes.
Noted.
By the
Noted.
way.
So
Absolutely.
Yes, we know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm horrible in math. I hated my math teachers, and
Who doesn't? I mean,
Yeah. Who the fuck likes that shit?
and
This
I-
guy.
yeah, this
This
I
guy.
guy
liked my-
loves math.
I liked my math teachers
Versus
too,
in
and we'll
content.
move on from that. Revolta.
And everyone looks at me and was like, "How do you play the drums? Like, what do you do? What are you listening to and stuff?" I'm like, well, I didn't rely on math. I'll tell you that. So I got some bad stuff. But Joe, take it
Yeah.
away, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
For me, I started like 5 years ago when I was 17. So no, but I started playing drums. I wanted to learn something, and I always loved music, but I never played anything. And so I saved up my money and bought this really cheap drum set with even cheaper cymbals. So I'd hit the cymbal and they'd start curling over time. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was my
Yeah.
favorite thing. But I had a really great friend, my best friend, and he had a guitar. And we just started writing songs. And I wanted to learn to really write songs that I couldn't write them on the drums, at least not the stuff we were doing. So I bought a bass, like a $200 bass, which I still have. It's sitting in my closet. It's going like in a museum, hopefully.
Wow.
Aw.
It was a Squire when they made Squires really great basses
Yeah.
back then. And so I just started learning and playing music with him for a couple years and jamming with whoever I could. And then I was in California, Southern California. So I started jamming and I got in this really cool punk band. We were playing all over Southern California. So I played a lot of punk and it just kind of kept going from punk to metal to ska.
It's a 7-string
to-
bass.
Well, I was a 4 guy. back
It's such
then.
a huge gap,
Yeah.
punk to 7
I
strings.
would go from 4 to 7.
I was wondering how many.
Yeah.
What string did he decide he wanted to go to the next one? you
Why
know,
not? Why
after-
not just get the
Did-
harp? You have them all there.
Did you go from a 4 to a 5 or a 4 to a...
I went from a 4 to a 5, and then I went to a 6, and then I sold my 6, and then I went into Guitar Center, and I walked in, and on the wall was this Conklin 7-string, and the fretboard just looked like it was this big, and I'm like, I want that. And
like a lap steel guitar?
Yeah.
yeah, it
Just
was
that
it was
fucking
just
wide.
it looked like a challenge, but the coolest thing is every show I play, somebody comes up to me and is like, what's up with that bass?
Yeah.
You know, or
Even lately,
It's an
I'll sing my
attention
heart
getter.
out.
Yep.
I'll do whatever I can. I'll try to do a backflip.
They're like, fuck
and then
Leo,
it's
what's
like,
up with that bass?
Show's
though?
over.
That bass, though.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's just fun because I'm an
Yeah.
introvert, so people come up to me and start talking, and it's all cool from there.
He's
So-
throwing his sticks up in the air and the
Yeah.
chair spins.
I know,
up,
he's
down,
like
and they're
juggling
fuck that.
sticks. Do you see that guy that's juggling sticks?
Yeah.
playing the
7-string,
drums?
though.
Yeah.
Insane. But yeah, that was kind of, yeah, 7-string bass. It blew my mind when I saw him pull up. I'm like, okay,
You're like signed.
but it's hard.
Can he
because
play that?
He he has some beautiful basses because he's been playing bass for a long time. So he's got a
5
collection,
years.
and they're nice.
5 years.
Yeah, sure, you 21-year-old, whatever. Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But he's brought some of these over, and I would just stare. I mean, besides him, the way he plays, anyways, too, sometimes I just kind of get lost in what he's doing because he's not your typical bassist, but the basses that he has are just beautiful, gorgeous, like just amazing basses.
You moved here
So-
like a year ago?
Yeah. You know what? Today, I think it was a year ago today that we left Florida. We had the moving trucks. Like it popped up on our Facebook. And it said, "Oh, 1 year ago
Oh,
today."
wow.
And we were like driving from Fort Lauderdale, Miami area to come out here. So
How have you found the music scene out here comparatively to the other places?
Be nice.
No, be honest. Be
honest.
I'm gonna
too.
be honest.
Because
Alright.
you're a part of it. You want to put your input into
When
it.
I got into the music scene in South Florida, everybody said, and it was kind of rightfully so. Everybody was saying, "Well, it's very DJ oriented. It's very club, very house." Because
I think
everybody
that's
wants to go out there
everything
and
though
pump.
now, except
But the
maybe
thing is-
like Nashville or like those type
Well,
of places.
The thing is like any place is what you put into it. Because once we kind of started getting out there and getting into the scene, it was a really tight community. Like we were in a different kind of band out there too, so we like weren't competing for shows and all that kind of thing. And it was like, hey, you want to play with us? You want to play with us? Let's do this show. And it was amazing. And I remember one show playing like a couple shows one night and like outside in the humid with a fog machine still going, and like you can't move on the guitar because it's so wet outside. But all of a sudden, everybody out there
That
became
Florida
family.
humid is real.
It's terrible.
In August, fuck you.
But
that whole state needs to
yeah,
fall off in August.
Well, it hasn't been
so
much better
horrible.
here lately.
I've been
to be
too scared to
honest.
go.
Oh,
I heard there's a lot of alligators and stuff. So
Yeah.
When I
I'm
got off the
definitely
plane in
afraid.
Florida,
Yeah.
in Orlando, it
Just throwing on
smelled.
pool noodles now.
Is that a normal thing?
The smell?
Yeah, like when I got off the plane in Florida, like in Orlando, because we went to Walt Disney World, and I swear, right when I got off, there was like this overwhelming, just like
I love Vegas,
Like a
but I'm gonna say
musty
this:
smell.
the thing what happens when you go to Florida is all that moisture. It cleanses your nasal passage,
Is that
so you
what
can
it
actually
is?
smell again.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's you finally got your sense of smell back when you got there.
The trees actually clean
But
the
it
air.
does kind of have like
That's what
this
fresh
tinge
air smells like.
of black mold and rot to it.
It's like the same thing when
yeah,
you
it
go
was like
from.
this
it after a
funky
while.
ass smell of the
Yeah.
whole fucking
It's like when you
state.
go from
Yeah.
Vegas to LA. Like once you get into LA, you see this yellow fucking just
Yeah, LA stinks too.
you
Yeah.
know you can smell that
Yeah.
pollution.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
I caused some of that.
To add on what you were going to say is, I think the scene out here is pretty great. I lived in Colorado for many years, and you could get work if you were in a cover band, but there's a great original scene out here. It's hard.
Were you in a
That's
small
what I was,
town in
that's what I was
Colorado?
telling him.
what's that?
Were you in a small town or a big town?
We were Colorado Springs.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean,
You're right
good
outside
sized
of-
town.
Denver.
But I was in a cover band. We could work just about every weekend, but that's all you could really do. There was no
Yeah.
original scene. It's awesome to see the kind of original scene that we have here.
Yeah.
Well, here in Vegas it was nothing but cover bands. I mean,
There's a
you-
For a while.
There's a ton of
it was
cover
nothing
bands
but cover
still.
bands. There's still, but
And-
I gotta say that the original people, like the original singer songwriters, are really coming out now.
Yeah.
You're starting to hear a lot of people coming out.
We're starting
like,
to get a
with
lot of new venues now
originals and-
too. A lot of
yeah.
places that were like, oh, we only want to do DJs. Like there's
Yeah.
Sahara Lounge now. There's taking bands and everything too.
I think all the sports
Um,
teams coming here, it's
yeah.
gonna make it the entertainment capital
Yeah.
again. Like
which is
the
good.
comedy scene out here is huge
Yeah.
again now. Like there
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
1 or 2 clubs for a while. Now I think there's 7 or 8 of them
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
yeah.
So everything's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So having said that, the music scene, I'm starting to realize how small of a city Vegas actually is. There's a lot of people here. They don't all live here, kind of thing, you know. But it is kind of a big small city.
Have
and
you found it
it's-
hard to get people out to shows?
Well, it's kind of hard because we're that in between genre, you know.
What are you laughing
I mean,
about?
I'll let him talk
he knows,
first.
He
and
knows
I'll
his shows. I mean, it's the one thing is that since we got this project going and everything too, it's like we love the music. The people that hear our music like it. They stick around. They're like, oh, this is really cool. It's easy to listen to. You know, we don't flip anybody off. We're not cussing. You know, there's all that kind of stuff to it. But having said that, we're not metal. But we're not rock, and we're not country, and we're not jazz, but we're a little bit of all of that, and there really hasn't been a lot of other bands that we've seen that come across in Vegas that are like that. So for us to get shows, it's been kind of like, oh, we could keep playing metal shows, or we can play with this pop singer or something like that. But it's really
Yeah.
hard to find us a band or a couple bands that are like us that we could play an awesome night out with.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to think of some, and I don't know.
Yeah, do you
any.
know any? Because I
Not
would give them a
really.
call tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's Sunday. I'll call them anyways.
Like,
Every-
as far as like what you were saying, where you were
Yeah,
going
with
for,
like our genre kind of thing, you know. It's like we don't.
it's
we,
very rare.
yeah, yeah. And,
Yeah, everybody
and,
out here is pretty niche.
Yeah.
It's like we are this, we are this, we are
And
this.
and that's the one thing that we didn't really kind of compromise. I've been doing this. We've all been in so many bands, and this is the one time where I said, you know, everybody do what they want to do, you know, and we'll make it work. So I don't sing traditionally, I
So,
guess. I don't know.
How many bands have you been in since you moved to Vegas?
Revolta.
That's a good question.
the
No,
first one
no.
count?
You know what? I'll answer
Nope.
that. Well, before I even moved out to Vegas, because music is such a big part of my life. When I was still out in Florida, I was trying to find connections here, and that's how I met you.
Yeah.
because at the time I'm like, I just want to go out there and play, and you were looking for a guitarist, and I didn't know I wanted to front a band and sing, and so I came out here, and then we ended up moving all the way across town.
Yeah, the
And
exact
then
opposite
that
side of
kind
town.
of has took a long time to get here, but it was a beautiful drive.
Technically, isn't that
So there
another
was
state?
that.
It is a nice drive.
Then
It's not bad.
Then also before I came out here, I was talking to Mastiff, who James also drums for. Steve, the lead singer and frontman in Mastiff, I was on Band Mix, and he tracked me
What's
down.
that?
Band Mix.
Yeah, I've
it's
never
like
heard of that.
it's like Tinder for musicians.
Oh, there's another one that I'm on.
Yeah, me and Matt just met through Tinder.
Yeah, no, I thought it was
Grinder, you
Grindr.
liar!
Grindr,
You're a liar.
Yeah,
I
my-
super swiped
my
you.
phone's been no, not my phone. James's phone's been blowing up since we got in here.
Yeah.
No.
Just grinder text. Just
Ding, 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 ding. I'm right
Matches.
here. I'm already here.
Yeah, he's a bear.
Yeah.
He could get it.
Mhm.
There you go.
James
is-
is desirable.
He is
Yeah.
desirable. He's a commodity in this town for sure. So there was that, and then his singer wanted me to play in their metal band, guitar in their metal band. I don't know if you guys have heard their band play or any of their music.
How
Massive.
metal is it?
They're fantastic.
It's metalcore, so it's Fear Factor-ish type of metal.
Yeah.
I like a lot of Lamb of God stuff, so I try to incorporate a lot of different type beats into it.
Yeah.
So
It's like scream singing, scream
Yeah.
vocals.
he has a
And
special
two
type
guitarists
of
and-
a voice that he does with it.
Yeah,
He calls it soapbox ranting, preaching type, singing.
yeah. It's really
So-
good. I wasn't really a
Soapbox?
fan
Yeah.
of metal or that kind of music, and now
Where did
I've
he come
been
up
to
with
almost
that?
all their shows.
I
So-
wanted to ask him that, but I've been scared to ask him certain things. so.
I get the soapbox part.
Why
because
are all singers dicks?
He sent me, I don't know, or what else are we? Controlling? I
Yeah.
forget. There's
Ego.
some other stuff.
I've heard that you're controlling.
Am I
yeah.
controlling? Yeah,
They could be
maybe.
super
I
controlling.
don't know. We'll talk about that later. But yeah,
Am I
so
controlling?
Revolta.
Yeah.
Revolta.
Somebody forgot the words.
Yeah.
Would you say I'm controlling or what?
No, hell no. You're the. That's why I
I'm the
fucking
biggest
get along
pushover.
with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
pushover.
This dude's the most easygoing dude on the planet.
Yeah. No.
I've dealt with a
You guys
lot
are
of
so
horrible
cute.
singers.
Yeah.
We make a good couple.
Yeah, you guys do. It's all right. One day, guys. It's all right. We'll be behind you.
We better make a good
Thanks.
couple. We
Yeah.
put a lot of fucking money into the shit we have. It'd be an
Yeah, we'll-
expensive breakup.
Yeah,
Be a
no
very
kidding.
expensive
Yeah, we'll talk
breakup.
about porcelain later too. I'd love to
Ugh,
find out.
let's not.
Okay, Revolta.
Revolta.
Porcelain. Porcelain.
Uh,
That's our safe word.
Funny.
But okay, yeah. So I tried out. This is my first time playing metal. Now, granted, I grew up like playing Metallica and that kind of stuff when I was like teaching myself how to play guitar.
Yeah, Lamb of
I
God's a
stood
little
next to
different.
this guy's kit who's like basically got like a drum cage. Their whole room was mic'd, but they all had like a half stack line 6 everywhere. Everybody had like it looked like a concert in a bedroom. And I'm just like
it was a master bedroom.
it's a master. It was definitely a master
Yeah.
bedroom. I'm like,
Was it bigger than
okay,
this?
like
Yeah.
let me tune to this as I'm tuning to play to them because they do this weird tuning, which is probably the tuning I do.
What
now.
is it? Drop C or something? or-
Half step, drop C,
Yeah,
A, B,
which is
the
exactly
whole-
what I think.
Drop
They're probably like drop B.
I know
something.
they have too many strings, like this guy over here. They're
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
with their
They're running
guitars.
7
But
strings.
I had my nice guitar and I'm tuning it to play to these other guys and I'm watching the neck of my
and you're
guitar.
and you
going,
have a 6-string, by the way, right?
"Oh." Well, at this time I had a 6-string baritone because I bought the baritone. I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, this will work. But with the baritone, I had to tune up. With the regular guitar, I could have tuned down. So with the baritone, my neck was like starting to tweak. Like, I'm like,
shit.
oh my god! I could only play the first 5 frets because otherwise there was like 2 inches between the string and the fret,
Shit.
which is cool because that's where most of the music was. But we played for about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
I felt like I was riding roller coasters all day on the drive home. I literally couldn't drive. I couldn't drive. Tori, who you met, had to drive home, and I was like almost shaking, like the sound, the percussion, the energy of everything, just like on a cellular level was just
It's too
making me
much
fall
for you?
apart. Yeah, I'm like I am such a vagina right now. I'm like I can't handle this. I'm like throw in some Jack Johnson or something. I'm like I need to like, get my composure back.
Throw in some Jack Johnson.
Funny
Some
funny
Justin
story. He's
Bieber or
talking about that,
something.
right?
Yanni.
Yeah. Oh.
So I asked the guy Steve, and I'm like, "Hey, Steve, what's up with Leo? We haven't heard anything from him." He's like, "Oh yeah, he's a real good friend."
Yeah.
I'm like,
And Steve is an awesome guy. Love the guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all gonna be in each
Leo
other's
had to go to
lives.
therapy for 6
Yeah.
months afterwards. He's
Yeah.
still attending
No,
therapy.
because in my childhood I was able to just,
Shuck it off.
disassociate.
There we go.
I think that was the official words, was disassociate.
When did you come into play?
Yeah.
Well, it's the second part of your story.
So the next part
Yeah.
was when I came out here too, and I'm like, okay, metal's not gonna happen. I was going through Craigslist at night, like every normal person does.
On
at 2
what
a.m.
though?
Well, they took
A
M
lot.
for M off.
was a
so-
Yeah, man, they did.
I know. So you have to look in
That
like
used to be my
housewares
go-to.
now. You have to go housewares, look at like utensils and all this stuff, and then it comes up. No, but we're looking for musicians, and I found this one, and with the vibe that I had played, because I really like Queens of the Stone Age and Eagles of Death Metal and that kind of thing too, like that bluesy rock desert kind of vibey thing. Throw some CCR up in there, and this guy posted some stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, that sounds pretty cool. I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. I think I sent him an email. We talked the next day. I'm there like a day later in his living room with like a guitar and an amp and stuff, and we're having a meeting, and we're like, dude, let's do this. And all of a sudden he's like, oh, we got connections. We're gonna be in movies. We're gonna be in this and that. I'm like, okay.
You know how many times I've heard that from people in Vegas?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
it was the
Dude.
welcome to Vegas
Yes.
for me.
Yeah.
It was definitely the welcome to Vegas for me. However,
Dude.
having said that, to backpedal, and I'll keep saying this, dude was super talented, like super talented. His voice, his vocal ability, and just what he
Very
heard in
unique.
his head and his production quality stuff was amazing. But it never went past that. So the
What
problem
you're
was,
saying is he was a singer.
he was
Typical singers, yes.
okay, I see where this is going. Yeah. So that happened. I got into that, and we were like writing songs and writing music, and because of what I do for work, I have a lot of downtime. I take a guitar to work with me, so on hotels and layovers and stuff, I'm working on music and like doing like little videos.
Oh,
I'm
when
like,
you're
okay,
flying,
look,
you take your guitar and shit
I
with
take
you?
a guitar to work with me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I put it right behind me up front up in the cockpit, and
No shit.
And
Is it
then
a
when
little
I get in
travel
the
guitar?
hotel,
Like a little Martin
no, I
Shaw?
take a full size
No
guitar. Yeah, I'm not paying for it.
That's your
So-
carry-on?
Yeah, it's my carry-on.
That's
yeah.
fucking
I-
awesome.
yeah, so
badass,
I take
dude.
that, I strap it back in right behind me, and then in the hotels,
Dude.
that's where I write and
A
practice and do
pilot
everything
rock
else.
star, bro.
You have to
Yeah.
have some good stories about being a pilot.
You know, yeah.
You
maybe.
have to.
Well.
All right, tell
maybe.
us
We'll get to
one
that.
good story, if you can.
Well, wait, what's a good story?
Like, have you ever
Is it
cheated
like
death?
like
Have you
being up
almost
for like
died?
36 hours and like trying to like land the airplane on a runway you can't see,
Yeah.
or
What the
like
fuck? They let
losing
you do
engines,
that?
or well,
That's
yeah,
the
I mean,
norm, it
sometimes.
sounds
Yeah,
well,
I'm not flying anymore.
Yeah.
Why do they do that with doctors and pilots? People with like the most fucking these
Yeah.
jobs, you have all these people's lives in your
Oh,
hand,
yeah.
and they're just like, oh, 36 hours, that's fine, fly
It's
the
like,
plane.
oh, you've been. I don't care how long you've been. You don't
I couldn't
know.
clean a toilet on 36
Yeah.
hours of non-sleep.
Yeah. You know, half the time what gets us through is a lot of times if we're really late, we're pulling up in the middle of the morning and we're pulling up to the terminal and we see everybody standing there in the window looking at us. And half of them are like women holding babies at like 3 a.m.
Fuck.
Because for some reason they're not at Walmart. They're at the airport
Where they
standing
should be.
in the terminal with all their kids at 3 a.m.
They should be
And
making
we're like, we could
breakfast.
pull the plug on this right now, or we can get these people where they need to go. And a lot of times that just kind of like, that gives you that last little bit that you need, you know. And the thing is too, is like you could do something when you're really tired, and if something happens, like there's adrenaline. We have adrenaline glands, and it is intense, the effect that you get from it. So if you know, you could be up for 30 or 40 hours and something happens, boom, it's like you just woke up.
Have you ever
So-
thought you were gonna die?
You know, when stuff happens, you never
He's like, yeah.
you never think
Not
about
from
it
flying,
at the
but
time
yeah.
because the training that they do is so good with all the different airlines and the companies that I've flown for. The training has been so good that, you know, they teach you to handle the situation. But there were times when we got on the ground, we got to the gate, passengers are walking off, we ran the last checklist, and we look at each other and we're like, or we're debriefing in an office because we lost an engine or something like that, and it's like, you know. So
Oh,
while you're doing it, everything's cool because the adrenaline kicks in, the training kicks in, and stuff. And then you know, when the dust settles, that's when you kind of start looking back.
Dude, I've flown
and everything.
twice in my life, and I
Wow.
fucking hate it.
Yeah.
and I won't do it again. Like
Yeah.
it scares the shit out of
For me, it's a great job. I like what I do.
I kind of like it. I get
really?
a rush
Fuck
every time
that.
I take off. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, do it again.
The one time I flew, I was next to a guy and he just kept putting like this smelly ass lotion on his elbows every like 10
Yeah.
minutes. I was like, what the? Oh my god! And
It's
then the
like
next time I
Bengay.
fell asleep,
Was
all
he
the way
like
to
80
Florida.
years old and had like arthritis and he was
No,
just
he
trying
was.
to feel better?
I think it was steroid cream. He was a bodybuilder, so I
You're
think it was like
such a
this
bad
steroid
person,
cream.
man.
The
It
Bengay
smelled
on
so
him.
bad though. The whole plane could smell it. And he put on like every 15 minutes, like clockwork, just rubbing cream on his elbows. Yeah, that was
Oh.
a bad experience.
Yeah, that's not good.
TSA not doing their job.
But
You
yeah,
guys
I mean,
get free flights out of this guy?
No.
nothing
No?
is free.
Oh.
Nothing
Really?
is free.
What did you fly for? Spirit?
Yeah.
Costs more money to get your bags on than fucking the ticket.
No, you know, I know it's one of those things I'm not supposed to talk about. I'll just say I love the company I work for. The people that I work with, my peers and everybody that I work with, the best group of people. You know, you always kind of say it's like, you know, who would you send your family on? And hands down, every time it's who I work for.
And it's not
I'm
Spirit?
lucky.
Or
It's
it
not
is
not.
Spirit?
I'm not saying those words.
Revolta. Revolta.
Revolta.
You're really
Yeah.
bad at that safety
Yeah.
word, man.
I know.
So,
it's,
hey,
just
so,
gonna
so
hang
the
on to
name
it here.
Revolta, we've been talking about a lot.
Yeah.
Where did it come from? What's
All
the
right,
origin
so
of it?
So because I
And
don't-
how many names did you go through first
Okay,
before you
well
found?
that's a good story because I'll tell you the name I wanted, which was awesome.
No, it wasn't.
It was fantastic.
We would never
Uh-oh.
have
And
it.
I
I
still
was not
have
in this
it
conversation,
as a
so-
placeholder. It's still holding place right now.
He'll stay there. Yeah.
All right, so when
he
we came
threw
out
it
here,
away. Like
and
he
the
took
band.
your, tossed your placeholder.
So the way we actually met in that last band that I was talking about with the guy that didn't pan out.
the badass dude.
Yeah, we met. I left because I saw the crazy, and then I kind of got kicked out too.
Well,
that was
it
how
took
we
me
became
two
singer.
more weeks to find the
2
crazy.
weeks after
Yeah.
he saw the crazy.
That's not too
2
bad,
weeks
dude. We
after-
wasted a lot longer than
Yeah.
that. We wasted years.
Yeah.
But when I met Leo, we just kind of instantly clicked, and I thought he was just a really cool dude. And then so when that
It was
went
dark
south,
and late.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was. He was like, "Come on over." I'm like,
Like-
"Right now?" He's like, "Yeah, come over
Yeah.
right now. We'll talk."
And he had this beard, like to here. Like this is pretty
It's
good
probably
right
the
now.
beard,
This
but-
is good. But
yeah.
he had this beard to like here, and I
You
was
can
like,
work
yes.
my bass skills. He
Yeah.
wants
Speaking
my
of
beard.
facial hair, should I shave my mustache?
No,
No?
no, keep it.
Really?
Yeah.
You think?
I think
Absolutely.
it's awesome.
Give it
Because-
some more time to grow into.
Oh, yeah,
it.
we
Should
went
I,
to this
should I let it grow out and curl?
There you go. That's all.
Like a super
Yes.
hipster?
What was
I've
that,
heard.
Fu
I've
Manchu or
heard chicks
something
like that stuff. The
Yeah.
curly thing.
When you start
Well, I
waxing
got
it?
roasted at a comedy show over it.
Yeah.
Like
it's
hard.
Um,
Oh man.
They're always looking
But
for
it's gave me a
something.
complex for the last like fucking week. That's all I'm thinking about is shaving my
you
goddamn
just-
mustache
You
off
just
now.
rock it.
No,
Just
keep
do
it,
it.
man.
Just
I'm gonna
own
keep
it.
it then.
Yeah. Just own it. That's.
I was gonna
that's you.
shave it next podcast too, but I'm keeping it now.
yeah, hang
Shave
on to it.
his whatever on the podcast.
Oh, that guy might be coming on eventually. So
Yeah.
his
All right,
hairline
there we
is
go.
so fucked up too. Like I don't even know how he was talking about my
Wait, was it
mustache.
him, the one that said?
It was
the mustache?
Famo.
Was it Famo?
His hairline starts back here. Like
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about my
A
mustache
hater.
for.
He's a hater.
Yeah.
That's all. It's cool. Leave it. I
Thanks.
have to shave mine like 3 times a day.
Now
'cause
I'll
it's,
sleep
it's,
tonight.
It's bad. Yeah. Oh, so then we met, and then we also ran into this other guy that I was talking to when I was still out in Florida that was a drummer. And he's like, "Oh, I got some time. Let's drum." You know? And he's over on that side of town, unlike, you who was established here, which is
Yeah.
still really cool. And we started doing something with that. And I'm like, well, okay, I just wanted to play guitar because I wanted to be brainless. And I'm like, let's find a singer. So we tracked down the singer kid that was, we'll just say he was a nice guy. It didn't work out.
Why
And then-
did he not sing well?
It was
He
just
wasn't the right
mostly,
fit.
it just
Yeah.
wasn't,
Yeah.
we'll just say Revolta wasn't the
Hey.
right fit.
There we go.
I was gonna say typical singer.
Typical singer.
That's okay.
You guys-
Is that really gonna be the thing now?
yeah,
Yeah.
brother. Sorry,
But
brother.
I had
Yeah.
heard Leo sing a little bit before he came in, and then when he didn't work out, I'm like, why don't
Those
you just
sweet
sing?
lullabies on the first night you guys
Pretty
met.
much.
Yeah,
I
when
was
that didn't work
hooked.
out,
Yeah.
I'm like, my thing was I will sing until we can find somebody,
Okay.
And then you just
and then I'm like,
There's
it's too
nobody.
much fun, right?
Well, the thing
Kinda
with
singer.
Leo is he doesn't do anything half-ass. So he starts in on vocal lessons, and everything he does is 100%, which is why he's
Who
an
do you take
amazing
vocal lessons with?
friend.
I do. I
And
take vocal
bandmate.
lessons here in town, and the guy, and I'll tell you his name. His name is Joe Spinella, and he is fantastic, like world-class opera singer.
Oh, shit.
Studied all kinds of different techniques, just even just from speaking to singing to everything to breathing to it has nothing to do with posture or anything else. It's all about technique and everything else. And it's so hard because when he started with me, luckily I haven't really been singing because I maybe sang some backup stuff here and there, but I didn't really have any bad habits. So when he started working with me, it just kind of I was lucky in the sense that I hadn't really done much before because he was able to teach me the technique from the ground up, from the beginning.
Can you guys all read
So-
music? Or
I used to be able to.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I know you can't because we're drummers. We don't
I-
read fucking music.
No.
Yeah.
There's
We
no
don't.
such thing.
Yeah, seriously.
X.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but
Tabs.
every time I've gone to play music with somebody, they're like, "Hey, do this. Can
Yeah.
you do that?
Yeah.
Put this in there.
Yeah, go
that
like
sounds
this.
really
go.
good."
Doom, doom, yeah, go like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how.
And then
Yeah.
from there, if you're able to
More
play
cowbell.
drums and you put
Yeah.
things in,
Yeah.
they give the approval. Yeah, that's a good song. You
Yeah.
can play that.
But I started off having to teach myself how to read music. So I know the whole every good boy deserves fudge
Yeah.
and the face and all that. And then,
I
doing
don't
all
know.
that stuff. But now, I
Nah.
learned music theory when I was younger. And it's cool. I'm glad I had that background. But
Don't really use any of
no,
it.
I don't know. It's hard to say you don't use it. Who
Yeah.
knows if you don't use it,
Yeah,
you know?
maybe deep somewhere inside you.
Yeah, it's like you can't drive a car until you build it. So maybe I'm using it every day. I don't know. Maybe not. But
Yeah, I use very little of my brain
yeah,
when I'm
probably.
drumming.
I know. I want to give myself credit. Yeah, I use music theory every day. Yes. Half step, whole
I'm
step,
probably
half
using
step. Oh,
10%.
this is no. That's not a D sharp.
I've
That's
got-
a-
I just
you
started learning how to, because I used to be able to learn. I used to be able to read and write music.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
Um,
taking vocal lessons too.
So
Oh, nice.
I've been playing the piano a lot more,
Nice. That's awesome.
a lot more, and I've been composing a song. I've been
Have
trying
you
to
been able
compose.
to play and sing
Yeah.
at the same time?
Yeah, he can do the harmonica, guitar, all that shit at the same time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he
For
came from a
me-
folk background.
Because I just played guitar.
You're gonna go places.
the singing
with
part was
that.
hard. Yeah. Yeah.
Here in Vegas,
Yeah.
you're gonna work out great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go places here, the bathroom.
Yeah.
The couch.
The
Do like
couch.
a Menudo, tribute band or
Yeah.
something.
Well, Matt's been trying to get me to sing in Spanish because I'm bilingual, right?
And that would be
Dude, that
awesome.
Spanish
And,
market's
uh,
huge.
yeah, it
They're
is.
very loyal.
A true
So
story.
is.
I used to play in a rock metal, thrash metal band, and the singer was as white as all of us in here. Okay, and sang
Not
in
all of us
Spanish.
in here.
Really?
It was metal, a band called Nebula X.
Wait, why have I heard that? I've heard that name.
They've been
think
around
I've
for
heard
a
They're still
long
playing out.
time.
They're
yeah,
still
I've
play
probably
out.
seen him play.
Yeah, and we played some good stuff, and every time we would get shows and stuff, they're like blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude's singing in Spanish.
That
Like,
fan base
yeah,
shows up too,
yeah.
huh? That Spanish
Yeah.
fan base.
So my first language was Hungarian.
Really?
So I was kind of thinking.
Wait, say something right now.
Én először azt gondoltam, hogy aztán, hogy talán ha magyarul fogok énekelni,
Holy
akkor
shit.
legalább az
Throw me
öt
for a
magyar,
loop,
aki
too.
itt van az egész városban, akkor kijön, és aztán akkor, de jók vagytok.
Oh
De
my
semmi.
god.
No, so I was
that was
thinking
horrible what you said about
I
Moy.
was saying-
Why would
I
you
know,
say
right?
that
I'm
about
sorry,
him?
Moy. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
man.
I know where I'm going. That's why I live here.
okay.
It's getting me
Yeah.
ready.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
It is that small. Don't worry.
Yeah, 6 inches.
Revolta.
But I was kind of thinking too. I'm like, I was thinking, I could do like a song in Hungarian. For who? My
Yeah.
mom? Yeah, my brother? No. I mean, there's actually some Hungarians here in town. I think there's 10 of us all together or something. So
You guys are like in a community. You guys get together.
there's not enough. There's not enough to really form a community.
What does
my mom was
Hungarian
part-
food taste like? Shit.
No, it was amazing.
Really?
Oh, I miss it so much because I'm vegan.
Is it like goulash
and I
that
have
type
to
of
give
stuff?
up. Yeah, and goulash, which is like misconceived by most of America as to what it actually was. It's mostly like a beef soup with noodles and potatoes.
That's
and
what I
stuff
know
like
it
that.
as.
Oh, okay, cool. Because most people say Hungarian goulash. It's just throw everything in here, make it a Hungarian goulash. I just want to punch them in the throat.
Do
'Cause
it.
that's not what it is. It's not what it is. But no, the Hungarian food was awesome. My mom was an amazing cook. And then I went vegan, and I haven't eaten like good Hungarian meal in years.
Oh, when'd you go
So,
vegan? Well, that's why
vegan-
you're a pussy now. That's why you couldn't stand his music.
Well, yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me
You can tell in this group who eats meat, right?
Backtrack. I eat.
You can't grow a beard like that without eating meat. I'm telling you right now.
He was just malnourished, bro. He was shaking because he was just not.
Yeah, there is that. Wait, I have to correct that.
Oh,
eat-
man.
I eat a vegan diet because I like leather. I have skulls in my house. I mean, these are like my shoes.
Why? What was the choice?
And-
Did you watch a
but they're not.
documentary or something? That
Yeah,
blew your mind?
reading stuff, documentaries, but most of it was honestly the way.
I watched them
the-
too, and I was like, "Damn, that cow looks good."
I know.
Just standing in
I
8 feet of its
know.
own shit. I'm
so,
like,
and
"Oh,
it's so overly medicated.
Yeah,
I want
flavor,
all those
man.
pharmaceuticals
all them
and
antibiotics.
drugs and
God, that's
everything
gonna
in my
keep me
body.
alive.
Ugh,
I can't wait to
know.
decay at a
It's like if
slower
you-
rate when I die."
Yeah, so that's exactly the reason I did it.
Yeah,
You know,
all the
it-
shit
it
they
was-
put
I
in
was-
our food.
It was. I saw the amount of pharmaceuticals that get pumped to the masses versus the
yeah.
amount that get pumped into the food and agriculture industry, and it's like exponential to what we actually consume on a daily basis. Like it was disgusting and disturbing,
it's
and
pretty bad.
it's like a criminal activity, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, there's so
I'm
many
not
other
gonna do it.
countries that have like ridiculously higher food
Yeah.
standards than us.
Yeah, and the
with all the
problem
shit
is
we
that the mega corporations are ruining it for the small farms and stuff like that. The people that are doing it
Yeah,
right.
they pushed all the small farms
Yeah.
out. They're gone.
Yeah. So the
You guys
people that
don't eat
aren't
like
using
that, do you?
antibiotics and
Don't like what?
what
You guys
McDonald's?
don't eat like that, do you? I know you don't.
So my other stage name is the amusement park.
Yeah.
Why that? Why, you like a hot dog eating champion?
Yep.
Kobayashi.
I treat my body like an amusement park.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Just
Good
cotton
job.
candy.
Yeah,
He's got a
it's
cotton
alright.
candy machine next to him on
Right
stage.
next to the bed, man.
You think it's a floor tom. It's not. Yeah, and he puts his drumstick in there.
Just a popcorn.
That would be awesome.
Bring that
That
over
would be
here, guys.
awesome. We need to work that into the shows. That would be fantastic.
Fog
So-
machine, cotton candy machine.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So where were we? Oh, Revolta, the band name. How did we get on to me being vegan
Hey,
and you
it's
Hey,
guys-
off track.
that's why it's called off track,
Yeah.
buddy.
I love it. It's awesome.
Way off track.
So the band name. Okay,
The first band name.
first band
that
name.
you proposed.
Okay, so when I was in Florida, because I was in, it wasn't my band. There was a bassist, singer, and she is amazing. I'll give her a shout out, Andrea Salamone, fantastic singer, amazing performer, everything, and the drummer Ari, awesome band. I miss playing with them; they were fantastic. It was like a jazz rock fusion kind of thing. So obviously I had like a lot more blues rock and like heavier like deserty rock kind of stuff in me that didn't fit in that band. So I had a lot of music that was overflow. And honestly, I had that for years for all these different bands that I've been in. And because I was never in my own band per se, you know, I never like really took ownership of it. So I always kind of felt like these songs and this music that I was writing was this stuff that was like rejected and like wasn't good enough for other people, you know? So it was like aborted from all these other projects. So the band name that I came up with in my side project was The Sonic Abortion. I thought was brilliant. I had a sticker idea.
Let's cut the cameras, guys.
It was amazing.
And that was the show.
And I said,
But it was
if you ever
the
expect to get
Sonic-
anything else but guys at your show,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Well, here's the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, forget
Tori,
it.
my girlfriend, is amazing. My supporter, my stone. You know,
Give her a
she's
shout
like,
out.
that's
Shout out,
awesome.
Tori.
Shout out to
Yes.
Tori. She's fantastic.
Yeah, we met her. She's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. I don't know how that happens.
One of
but
another
she's
reasons why
awesome.
I'm in this band.
Yeah, also a huge proponent here for James. But it was really funny because when I came up with this band and Joe and we had like a little dinner to talk about this other project that we were in that fell apart. He's like, oh yeah, man, yeah, let's be in this band. I'm like, okay, cool. I know this drummer. We can get this to happen. This is gonna be fantastic. I need a piece of paper while I'm talking. I'm like, I even have a band name. Because for the longest time, and you write on every piece of paper, don't you?
Just flip it over.
Because I'm like, I even have the perfect thing for like a sticker, you know? Because I was
That's a
talking
clothes hanger, buddy.
I was talking to shh, don't give it away.
It's just terrible, man. Terrible.
Oh,
Wait, so you're...
So as we were talking, I'm like, oh yeah, because he went home and he told his wife and everything, and I can't spell.
So clothes hang. Oh,
So
'cause
I'm asking Tori.
Oh.
I'm like, hey, like we need like a really good sticker idea. I love this. It's my band. It's the Sonic Abortion. I'm gonna sing. This is what I always wanted to do. And I'm like, Joe, I'm like, what do you think? He's like, well, what do you think about the band name? I'm like, I love it. I just came up with a sticker because I was talking to Tori, and I'm like, what would visual thing would you think of with like Sonic? That's too obvious. Abortion. All right, let's get edgy. She's like, oh well, a clothes hanger. So I drew this sticker that was a clothes hanger, right? And it looked a lot better than this, but it
Just so the
said
cameras can
the
see that.
Sonic Abortion, and it was awesome. The coat hanger, it was gonna look like a neon sign. The coat hanger was gonna be neon pink. The Sonic Abortion was gonna be neon blue, and TSA for short. We could put that on all of our garb, you know? And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And as I'm pitching this in my mind to Joe, he's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm like, son of a...
He's came up with names too.
He was
right?
like, no.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind.
So that didn't happen.
He called him on the phone and was like, no.
No.
So what were some of the other
Click.
logo designs, like a speaker blowing a fetus apart into pieces,
There
or,
was something like that. Yeah, there was
or
actually
like a little baby Sonic the Hedgehog fetus?
No, one of my in mind was like this,
Jeez.
you know, curvy chick like bending over, but like her bottom was a speaker, and then a baby coming out of it.
Oh, okay.
So
well, that one's
it was-
equally as weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wanted it to be artistic and expressive and different, you know.
And then how did Revolta
And-
come out of that?
Okay,
Well,
so
then we went on to number 2, which we decided to call it "Don't Push Play."
don't push play.
That one's not bad.
Yeah.
DPP, don't push play.
Ooh,
And then-
DP.
We hooked up with our first drummer, Donnie, who's an awesome guy, and he proposed.
Yeah, great friend, good,
Co.
awesome drummer.
Awesome
Yeah,
guy.
he grew up on this street named C-O-E. He's like, I always wanted to have this band named Co. I'm like, cool, because I want it to be all inclusive. Because I'm not controlling.
And it's
I'm
like,
like,
it means
No.
nothing,
Cool.
but it means something to us.
Yeah.
He is a
And then-
singer.
And then we're
Yeah.
over at Donnie's
And then that
practicing, and Donnie's like,
Sweet.
"Co really means sheep rot disease."
Yeah,
I'm
it's like it was intestinal
Wait,
rot
what?
in
like
sheep.
sheep rot
Yeah,
disease.
it was intestinal
Wait,
rot in
yeah.
sheep.
I
So,
don't
Why the
I
fuck would
can't
anybody
understand
know
Yeah.
just a Google, I guess.
so it was really cool
Why would
though
you Google
because
that?
we came up with this sticker though. That was really cool because it looked like this. So it looked like what's that stuff that farmers do when they're bored out? Crop circles.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, actually.
It looked like crop circles, so we're like, oh, Co, and it was cool, and we had our speakers and everything else, and then Donnie just got really busy with life and everything, and we miss him so much, but it didn't work out, and we're like, okay, because it was
I've met this guy as well, and he's a very cool guy.
yeah, cool guy, and he went
It's
to
hard to find
Musicians
drummers in
Institute
Vegas.
in LA. I mean, he right now, I think the last time I talked to him, he was like doing double bass to like 230 BPM or something like that. Like his calves are like Mr. Universe right now. Like this guy's sick, but you know, he just it wasn't.
Yeah, you gotta work.
We
on
just
your
couldn't
caps,
work
man.
together.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you have to work on,
Why?
boy?
They look better in a dress.
Yeah.
The problem is the heels always pop the calves, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, it's too
yeah.
much calf.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't
that's
want to.
true.
You don't want to.
Should I go with lower heels?
Keep with
lower
what you
heels,
got,
yeah.
lower heels. But
next time.
then you're dealing with the sagging bottom. So
Yeah.
well, it's,
And my
it's
tits
hard.
have just given up.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Sorry.
they've gone
Yeah,
south.
there's bras for that.
So,
But,
so how has
so-
it been as far as how the music scene has been treating you guys here in Vegas?
You know, we
Outside of other bands, because I know the bands are all, you know, get together and support each other, but outside of other bands,
it's hard.
The fan
It's all
base.
about all the venues. In Florida, the venues were the venues, and you book with the venues. Here, it's like you have to book the venues through promoters.
yeah,
Yeah.
And the promoters have this little circle.
assholes.
Yes, and bitches. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the problem.
They'll
with
never hear
Vegas.
this, don't worry.
It's like we want to play this venue. We love this venue. We would bring a good crowd. We would have an awesome show. Can I talk to that venue? No. No, I got to talk to this person to talk to this person, or talk to this person to talk to this person to get a show over here. And then they're
First,
like,
you got to buy a ticket to go talk to that person.
Yeah. And so that's been the hard thing. But so
Do you have to do that out here?
Yes.
Yeah,
there's some of
payola.
that.
Yeah.
Now we have kind of found a little way around that, and we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Is it
Hide in dumpsters and jump out at the right time.
is it a more
Yes.
like a guarantee, like you have to guarantee them so much, or is it a pay up front type of thing?
Well,
Yes.
so I came out here.
Yes on both.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I came out here in about 2003, 2004, and the music scene was kind of different, but
Popping.
it was very.
You could get you can get signed like nothing.
Any
back
show
then.
out here, you can get. There's so many venues that are out, but now they're not anymore. So if you knew somebody that knew somebody, you were going to be guaranteed a show. But it depends on the promoters out here in Vegas, which there's a lot of them that don't do their jobs anymore because they decided we don't want to be promoters no more. It's not worth it. Those promoters were doing great jobs and getting good venues and finding places for these bands out here to play. The only thing it was, you ever heard paid to play?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do that for radio and TV.
Radio, TV.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of promoters, they don't like that word, but a lot of bands.
It's payola. It's what
Yeah,
it is.
You got to get tickets. You're guaranteed so many
Yeah.
tickets you got to
Yeah.
sell.
They give you so many
Yeah.
tickets for the show. And
Exactly. And then sometimes a band doesn't have the draw to bring in, or, it's a
So
lot
you're
of-
basically buying your
what's-
own tickets.
You got
What's
to buy your own
ridiculous-
tickets, and it's like you're playing, and you got your tickets that you got to meet the quota, and then sometimes if you don't, they're, they won't call you back. They're
Yeah.
like, you're done.
There was
we know
a
not to
flip
call you.
historically where, let's say in the 70s and 80s, a promoter or a venue books a band. And if 10 people show up, that promoter or the venue apologizes to the band. I'm so sorry that people didn't come out to see you guys. I don't know what we did wrong. And that's the way it should have been. The artist should never be promoting.
Well, the artist is, have to.
Now
be-
now
have
it,
to
it
now.
has to be.
And
have
that's
to.
that's the animal that this has become. Back in the day, the art of the music that everybody's doing, whether it's metal or rock or reggae or rap or whatever else, it's like if you look at a painting, you're not going to try to pay somebody to look at that painting. You're going to say, "Here's a painting, look at it." It's the same thing with
Yeah, but
music, but
now-
it's gotten so skewed the other way.
because you can steal it all now.
Yeah.
And the only way to make money now is really shows.
Right.
Or merchandise,
Yeah.
I guess.
But
But
if
it's
you're lucky to
sad.
get on shows.
Yeah.
But right now, all the venues are saying, "Well, how many people are you going to bring?"
Yeah.
It's like, no, how many people are you going to bring?
Yeah.
It's like, you guys are the ones that have the club. You guys are the ones that have the overhead for the promotions, for the advertisement, for everything else, running specials, running deals, not charging
it's
$20
like that for
at the
record
door.
labels too. They want
You
you,
know?
to already have
Yeah.
a $200,000, $300,000 fan base on Instagram and on YouTube and all that
They
shit.
want all the hard work done for them.
Yeah, they want everything done
and
for them to
it's
be able
sad.
to even look at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So,
brutal.
Unfortunately, that is the scene. That's the scene here, and it's one of those things too. Where
I don't think it's much different other places though.
it's not. I have to say,
And
it
I
was
think it
better
might
in
be-
South Florida.
The saturation was
we
probably
never
less
paid to
down
play.
there, right?
Never had to pay to play.
There's
in
probably
South
less
Florida.
bands though, right?
No, you'd be surprised. There's
Really?
a lot
More?
There's a lot of bands, a lot of venues. A lot of stuff starts at 10 o'clock and goes till 2 in the morning. As opposed to here, it starts at 8 over at midnight or whatever else. But
Yeah.
it was hard coming back to the scene because I knew coming back west and being in the music scene out in Los Angeles for years and having to pay to play at the Whiskey and having to pay to play in all the other big name places out there. It was just like, I really don't want to go back and do that. But here I am, here we are,
Yeah.
and we might still have a way around it. So,
You would do it if you had to though, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's part of the business.
Yeah.
We could deal with it.
Yeah, we've spent a shit ton of money on promoting this. Like,
Yeah.
it's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
You have to spend money to get it out.
It really is.
It's the only
Yeah.
way. That's why we haven't even really got serious with playing out in the band shit yet, because we know for the first part of it, until you grow an audience, it's really just fucking waste of time.
Yeah.
You waste so much time.
You get a band, and obviously we've all been doing this for a while, and we've taken a different approach on everything. So far, I know James's metal band has put a lot of money into their band this year. In gear that we've brought here today, and to get everything going so far this year has probably been about $8 to $10,000. I know you've spent a lot more, and
Yeah.
then for a show to say,
I think we put in 60 in the last year.
yeah, and then for a show to
That's
say, oh, for
stupid.
30 minutes, for an hour set, I might give you like $40 or $50.
Yeah.
It's like,
2 songs for free.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of what you got there. Is it vegan?
I see a pink box over here, and then he's like,
fuck?
So Revolta came when we lost the band
Obviously
name
it's-
Co.
Obviously, it's edible still
Yeah,
kicking in.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Because someone's got the munchies over
Don't
there.
eat on the podcast, you
It's
dickhead.
awesome. No, it's okay. Hey, what are we doing? It's fine.
Jesus.
Someone's
That's
got
such
to
a
feed him.
rookie move.
it's water.
Yeah.
He
He's
pulled
gotta
out a
maintain
box
I
of
it.
swear
donuts
it's water,
out of
Mom.
He's
nowhere.
got to
Please.
maintain that physique.
If you're
He had a
watching, I'm
box
sorry.
of donuts like on tap over there, just waiting.
Can I plug my favorite donut shop in Vegas right
Yeah,
now?
go for
Yeah.
it.
Ronald's Donuts.
Where's that at?
Ronald's Donuts on Spring Mountain over in Chinatown area. The
Oh,
top
Chinatown's
two
got some
tiers,
good shit.
every day you walk in there, the top 2 tiers, you won't taste it, but they're vegan. Vegan
Really?
donuts. They're classic donuts.
I
and
have to
they
say
are-
something, man.
Mwah.
He
Amazing.
turned me on to like certain things. In my diet, I eat meat. Yes, I'm gonna eat things that's not good for me. I'll eat things that are good for me. And he turned me on to this because for his diet that he uses, and I couldn't tell the difference.
Between the
on-
vegan donut?
Yeah, I couldn't tell
Oh.
the difference. So it was
Yeah.
the
Is it
same
less
thing.
We
Is
gave him
it-
a vegan burger the other day too. He's like, "What the?"
Yeah.
Is it less calories and everything?
Me and another
Or
I
just
guy.
don't know
half
what
milk
it is.
and
It's all
stuff?
science. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
what it is. It's all chemically generated stuff.
It was made in a bunch of glass
Yeah,
tubes.
it's stuff we were also never intended to eat. So much
Yeah.
like McDonald's.
Me
Yeah,
and another
it's
guy
very
was at his
parallel to
house
that.
doing work stuff, and
Yeah.
we both looked at each other like, "What the hell?
Yeah,
This
what
is
is this? But no, there's a lot of science behind the food that we eat now, and they
There is.
chemically go in and they do their whole spectrometer stuff, and they say, okay, when you cook meat to a certain temperature, what is it that tastes a certain way? And now they could synthesize that in non-meat foods, and that's what the Incredible Burger is. And if you taste it, it legit tastes like meat. At least if you haven't had meat in a really
I'm gonna
long
try
time.
this because I've tried some like vegan burgers and
We'll-
stuff,
we'll
and they
do
were
it.
terrible.
No, we'll do it.
you got to
We'll do
try
it.
it at least once.
We'll
if
do
you don't
it.
like it, it's
All right.
Yeah.
one
When you
day
find
wasted.
yourself on the west
No
side
big
of
deal.
town, we're on it.
Yeah,
So
do a barbecue.
so
vegan
so
barbecue.
Co. fell
Can
apart.
you do that?
I'll
It's not
try.
burned.
Or will the meat just fall through the
Yeah.
grill like
Oh,
pussy ass meat it is?
Man. You know what? That's the hardest thing. It's like everybody's like, "Oh, this must gross you out." No, we don't. Meat doesn't gross out. We have 2 dogs. We feed them raw meat. We don't eat meat, Tori and I, but our dogs only eat raw meat and organs and bones and all that kind of stuff. When we scoop out the raw meat with like the blood and everything, like every
Holy
every
shit.
morning and every night.
It's a lot of
So
effort,
it's
man.
not one of those things that we don't like it. I walk by a burger place. I'm like, oh, it smells good.
What do you have, some, like,
you don't
show
start
dogs or some shit?
protesting and
Oh, then.
you
No.
start like protesting.
If we get
No,
somebody
you see,
No, no.
okay,
I-
that's where, because of the protesting, that's where I say I eat a vegan diet, but I'm not a vegan. Because those guys that do that walk into places and in the morning into
Yeah.
like some egg place or whatever and start protesting everybody, those guys, excuse my language, they're just assholes.
I saw
You
a
know?
video where these vegan protesters were outside of this meat cutting shop,
Yeah.
and the fucking
Oh yeah,
the
it
meat
was
cutter,
on, he was on Joe Rogan.
meat cutter
Yeah.
comes
Really?
over and like brings a big slab
Something
over to the
100.
window and just like starts carving it right in front of him, right in front of the window,
Well,
just fucking with them.
it's a choice. Everybody gets to make that choice for themselves. And we're not judge and jury, That at the end of the day, that's it. You do what is best for you, what you're happy with, and what is good for you. And I don't push my views or my beliefs or my diet on anybody. But if you're coming over, we're cooking vegan for you. But other than that, you bring
Eat before you
drink,
go.
whatever you want. Yeah. Otherwise, if
So
you eat at
you
our
always
place,
eat before you go.
bring a lot of toilet paper.
Actually,
otherwise, and gas
I did the
X.
first time, but I played my heart out, and I got hungry because I was exercising so much. I was hungry, so I decided to eat, and it was good.
That's
Yeah,
cleanse.
man.
It's a cleanse too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you know?
we've
Yes, it
actually,
is.
We've
There's a
actually
cleanse.
been on a healthier
Yeah.
diet
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
My
We just-
toilet
We
agreed.
don't eat out as much. Like
I eat out too much.
because we're
Yeah.
just the older
Yeah.
you get,
Yeah.
the more you start really seeing what you're putting into your
Older.
body.
You guys talking about older?
Oh, I'm
over here.
33.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Are we
that a-
gonna do this right
Revolta?
now?
Yes,
Are we gonna do Revolta? No,
Pull the
I'll,
card. Pull the
I'll
card.
say it because I own it. I'm 38.
How old are you?
Okay.
I'm 38.
I'm 40.
46.
Really?
I know.
Holy
Every
shit,
single
dude.
time.
What?
I look older than him, and he is
I
8
still want to
years
see
my
a birth
senior.
certificate.
What the
Kills
fuck?
Wow.
Yeah, it's because
Damn.
he takes such good care of himself,
Jesus.
diet wise, and
Good for
everything
you.
else, and his upbringing and stuff. And Joe is. He makes everybody that's around him want to be a better person.
You got that
Just in
black people
general.
gene. I can't ever tell how old black people are. I'm like, he could either be like 25 or he's like 45. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got that going. Yep.
I'll lose 5 years or maybe 10 if I shave that.
Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
that's
When
not
he
going
shaves
away,
his
so.
beard, it looks like I'm picking him up from school, like he's my son or something.
Thanks,
It's
Dad.
messed up, not
Hi,
cool.
Dad.
So when he shaved his beard, I'm like, what did you do? What did you do? Why did you do that? So don't do that.
Yeah, the band
Yeah.
I met Leo in, he had a big beard, and I think he probably just wanted me to be in the band because I had a big beard, so
Yeah.
it had nothing to do with anything else.
I wish I could grow a beard. I'm still hitting puberty, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's all right. Sometimes it takes 10, 15 years to get through it, so it's cool.
It took me a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
What's your guys' favorite place been out here so far to play?
to play?
There we go.
Honestly,
What's
okay.
yours? Because I know you've played everywhere
Yeah,
out
you've
here.
played all over the place. What's your favorite spot?
So let's see here. I'll say backstage.
You like
treats us really
backstage?
good.
Really?
Good. They got good people that are wanting to work with you, and if you need something, they're there
Why
to help
does this
you.
sound so terrible?
Well, okay, they sound
You got
really good
shitty
for
sound
them.
guys. You know,
Yeah.
Their sound.
I
is
wouldn't
horrible.
say shitty. You got some good sound people out here that knows their jobs,
And they have
that's
great
the thing.
equipment.
They got to know their
Awesome
job.
equipment.
These places have good boards and
Yeah.
speakers and good cables and everything's on there. Now there's another thing. The bands that are playing there, they have also got to be able to play good, and
Yeah.
it's not
That
all
was our
about the sound
problem.
guys. But you got to have a good sound
mostly
guy.
punk
I couldn't
Yeah.
hear him sing at all. Like,
It-
there-
well,
Well, there's a
That
couple of
was-
factors into that. I'll
Yeah.
let him take that.
Yeah. Revolta.
You can't
Well,
say
wait.
it after.
No, I will say we'll get back to that sound thing. But Moy asked how we named the band, and what ended
oh
up
yeah, we
happening
still
is
never even got to
no,
that.
it's all right.
We're
we
almost
got all
there.
night.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have
yeah,
It's
yeah.
been like a
until-
half an hour question.
I don't have to be to work till Monday night.
Oh,
I'm good. So
I will run out of beer
Sleepover.
before
Yeah,
that.
I
I'll get
hope
the
not.
marshmallows.
Yeah. So when Donnie left the band, we gave him the name Co so he could use for a future project if he ever wanted to do anything, or if he wanted to do his own recording stuff, because he is he basically has half the gear that we do, or the same digital mixer, and he could be an amazing studio drummer. So we gave him the name back, which left us without a name. So I'm like, Joe, we got to find a name. So, and at the time, I don't think we even had a drummer, but we had
We
two
didn't.
shows booked.
Yeah.
We didn't have a drummer. We had two shows coming, and we didn't have a band name.
Awesome.
But we had 11 songs, which is cool. It did nothing for us. So I'm flying cross country, East Coast to West Coast, writing stuff down. And while I'm flying, he's coming up with lists. And every time I land, I get cell phone signal. I see his list. He sees my list. And then one flight back, I don't know. I was probably coming from Baltimore, because why not? And I'm like, I kept circling this one, and you had some really good ones too. I threw
What's one that you
some
wanted to use?
in there.
I don't remember.
I still have
actually.
some actually.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I do. There's something about the milk Sprite. Let me see.
Milk
What is
Sprite?
up with the
I don't think that
names,
one was
man?
mine.
No, it was.
That's worse than Sonic abortion, man.
I know. No, it wasn't the milk
Jesus.
squirt.
I'm
It was the
thinking,
milk
like,
Sprite.
What would that taste like?
Don't remember
notes.
that.
Not
one.
good.
My notes.
Not good.
Yeah.
Milk squirt.
But
It's
you know, we had a
curdled.
bunch of different ones, and then I had some
Lemon
stuff
milk.
in there that I'm kind of like, Prophecy of the Milk Sprite was one of
What
them.
the fuck is a milk Sprite? Is
Yeah.
that like a fairy?
So this is
Ask
a list
Leo,
of some
he came
of
up
them.
with it.
Friend of no, yeah. This is the list I got from you. Let me see. Clearly, guys. Tone Kings, Green Tone.
Oh yeah, Tone Kings.
Uh,
A lot.
That's not bad.
Green King. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Castle Green. Another name to us. LMNOP. WXYZ. Crunchy Cons. There was some different names. Alt King, Before His King. We had all kinds of
What?
different stuff. We were just throwing stuff out.
TV is an alien?
Sorry, Joe. This is all you. You know.
A lot of times I'd suggest something and it would trigger his brain and he'd come up with something
Yeah,
similar.
that's what it was.
That's actually
So
what we
so
did,
but I had a couple different ones, and I'm like, and Don't Push Play was still like,
Did you-
okay, do we want to go back to Don't Push Play?
Did you look them up online and see if anybody else had them
Yeah,
already?
and I didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
That's,
care.
I mean,
if
literally
I
we went
really
through
liked the name
500
Guns N'
names.
Roses,
Yeah.
we would have been fucking Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, if I would have, I didn't care. There's another band, Revolta.
Guns N'
Actually,
Roses 2.
There's
like
a lot
movie.
there's quite a few bands. Revolta.
Yeah, I saw
There's a
like,
couple in the
there's a
States,
bunch of them on
and there's some
Facebook.
in Europe too. And some of those guys are it's like a metal band. They have a big following and everything too. And I'm like, well, I hope they don't care. We're in Las Vegas. If we ever play a show together, that will be awesome. as
But the
opposed to like
likelihood
Welcome
of
to
it
the
is
Revolta.
Yeah,
Double
Fest.
Revolta.
right, as opposed to like one of those things like, oh, that name's taken, that name's taken, that name's taken. No, it's a cool name. Like my name is Leo. I'm sure there's other Leos around. I've met one or two
I
of them.
don't
I'm like, dude,
know.
that's
I don't
my
know
name.
about this.
Go away. Like, change your name now. So for me, it was like, okay, this is who we are. And then it made sense. It resonated with us.
What does that name mean?
So I think a lot of with what we do musically is kind of against the grain.
Oh,
too.
like a revolt.
Yeah, so it kind of like does that. But now I also kind of think too that eventually, what we do with the way that we feel with climate and politics and everything else too, it's just it's kind of like a current vibe in society right now too, to kind of to really shake things up and expose things and really do all that kind of thing too.
Are you
But
guys political?
Not really.
No.
not
No.
really. Now, having said that, not being political doesn't mean that we don't have our values.
No
Yeah.
comment.
Not,
Yeah,
not
Yeah, you don't
outwardly.
wanna
Yeah.
give a
political.
shit about
Yeah.
that.
But
Yeah.
the coolest thing about
Drummers don't
Revolta-
give a fuck about
Yeah,
nothing.
No.
We
The
really
coolest-
don't.
What,
coolest-
we
Dr.
want to
Pepper.
drink and be loved.
Yeah. Yeah, it
The
is
coolest
nice being
thing-
loved.
about Revolta is we found out that it's actually a villain in Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really?
That was the biggest
witch,
thing.
a
It was
witch
this crazy
villain.
witch chick with like almost looked like
Multiple
Ganesh
arms.
or something like that with a bunch of
Yeah.
arms and stuff, and it was like awesome.
And it ended up just being a bunch of little kids stacked up on top of each other.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, nothing wrong
We
with
would have
that
got
either.
away with it
Foiled
too.
my plan
nothing wrong with
again.
that either. And then also like the energy of it too. Like Volt is in there, and then we put the lightning bolt in the logo, for the stickers and stuff, and it's gonna be on his drum head soon. It's just to bring that energy and that spark of just change and everything else.
What are you gonna do? Swap it out in between shows?
No,
I actually have a
He
couple of pairs
has-
of drums that I use in
he
different
has like
bands.
what,
There
4
you go.
kits. You have
Yeah.
4 kits total.
Yeah, I think we have 3 or 4
Yeah.
here.
3.
So yeah, I
We're
saw
almost
you've
there.
got some nice. You got some.
Yeah, the
nice
other
stuff
set we
going on
covered
over
in
there.
paint, and then we're gonna
Yeah.
burn it next.
Oh, sweet.
Well,
Can we
I
be here
have-
for that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
we're gonna do a video for it.
Nice.
Light it on fire, then play.
Oh, beautiful.
Probably gonna burn myself pretty good.
Yeah.
This beautiful hair is gonna be
Yeah, save the
gone.
mustache for that.
Yeah.
And the
You should
eyebrows.
probably cut your hair for that.
Yeah.
Or covered it in
Vaseline or whatever they put that
something.
shit in.
No, I think that's oil. I
I've
think
got to
that'll
watch this. So you gotta call me. Let me know when it's happening. We got-
It's like I'd love to see
Yeah.
someone set on fire. This is awesome.
Burn something.
Yeah. So the name kind of came from that. We threw around stuff back and forth, and we kept coming back to that. And we circled it, and we saw, there's other bands, but it had meaning to us. We could
Felt
both
right.
resonate with it,
Yeah.
and we're like, we're gonna own this. So,
Is this what you plan to do forever? You gonna do music forever?
I
I always ask that to musicians. Like,
Until I
at
look
what point
pathetic
would you ever
doing
give
it.
it up? Really?
No,
I don't know. Is
yeah.
there a point where you look pathetic?
yes.
I
Like
don't
what?
think so.
60?
Have you
70?
been out
Uh,
watching shows lately?
I don't
There's
know.
a point.
What do you mean?
Hey,
Like,
that's not too far away
You
from
know,
me. So
I know
no.
it's not too far away
But-
from me either, but it's one of those things where no, there comes a time to pass the torch. I still feel like we all have a lot to say as musicians and a lot to express, and musicians and drummer, we all have a
What
lot
did
to
you- I can't
say
even
as
see it. What did you
musicians
do?
and drummers.
he's like, I ain't got shit to express.
No, he's got something to express, and yeah, it's one of those things. Like I want to do this, and I want to do it right, and I want to do it to a certain level. And when I can't do it to that level, it's time to pass the torch. Give it to the next generation. Let them take the stage. Go support them. Go be a part of bringing up the next generation of music and musicians and art and everything
Yeah.
in the scene. It's like I don't need to be taking stage time from somebody who this means so much to, when I'm 30 years or 40 years older than them. What kind of
Yeah.
asshole would I be to do that?
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
get
going to
it.
do this
A
as long
musical
as it's
asshole.
good for me. He's still going to be in those bands with
He's
those
a
kids.
good asshole.
I'm going to be watching.
I mean, just
I'm
shave
gonna
your
be at the
beard,
bar.
you're good.
I don't know how to
I'm gonna
fucking
be
tell
at the
how old he
bar.
is, so it
I'm
doesn't
good.
matter. He
When
can still
when
pull
I
it
need
off.
help on stage,
Yeah.
crutches, wheelchairs, stuff like that, I'm done.
Yeah.
Colostomy
And then he's
bag.
going to keep
Yeah.
playing, apparently. All
Well,
right. So we know where you're.
No, I've quit or retired several times. Just
Yeah.
drama bands. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
It's
then
brutal. It's fucking,
something happens. Like you meet somebody really cool, and it just
Sparks
keep
you
going.
again.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
a motorcycle gang at some point,
Yeah.
and there's gonna be a Revolta
Ooh, I wanna
patch on the
join.
back. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. We're all gonna get bikes, and that's the whole thing. It's
I
like
wanna
at
get a
one point.
tricycle.
I want I
Yeah.
want a moped.
Okay, that's cool.
There's one in the garage. You want to
I'll
go
get,
ride
I'll
it?
get you a tow rope.
I'll ride on the cart on the side of
I
the
don't think my
bike.
4-wheeler goes that fast.
Yeah, I'm
so
getting
I'll
a
drive
Hayabusa.
Four-wheeler
I'm gonna
does
make
go
a
that
cart
fast.
for Moy on the side.
It does. Yeah. So I mean that's it for me. It's like I want to do this until it doesn't feel right, and then I'm gonna give my guitars to high schools and to kids that don't have money to get guitars, and I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's
help out
badass.
stuff. You know, and
Charity,
it's like
man.
do
That's
this.
badass.
You know,
Pass it
I'll
on.
keep one to hang
I'm
on my
gonna
wall
sell
to
mine because I'm
remember.
a selfish asshole. But man, you're doing it right, buddy.
Well, you
You're
know,
doing
it's
it
just-
right.
Oh,
I,
man.
you know,
got that
it's-
shit on lock.
It's humble beginnings. There's somebody out there that has different opinions of me, and I won't say his name, but it really is. It's humble beginnings, and I want to give back. I was
Can I
given
say
so
it?
much.
Can I say it?
No,
Is it
Revolta.
God? Is it
Revolta.
God?
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. No, you know, it's just one of those things where I just, in fact, we have a show coming up. We're going to do an awesome
Oh yeah, plug your stuff in.
October Halloween show. And it's going to be in an awesome venue. We don't know if it's on the 26th or the 27th yet, but it's going to be at the Sahara Event Center, which we've discovered the history of it.
Mhm.
Amazing. The doors open there. Led Zeppelin played there. CCR played there. It was
Black
like
Sabbath.
Black
played there.
Sabbath played there.
Oh wow.
So we're gonna do this awesome Halloween show. I'm gonna raffle away one of my guitars to charity, and so we haven't picked the charity yet. We want to do something local and something that's gonna have the most impact. So we're gonna raffle away a guitar. We're gonna hopefully have a Halloween costume contest up there too. Have a prize for the winners, and it's gonna be an awesome night. So it's just about giving back. You know, we're not doing this for the fame. We won't turn it down if it happens. If somebody's throwing, suitcases of money at us.
Which is
You
so
know?
rare now.
I can catch very well.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a good catcher and a runner over here.
I'm not.
You know,
I throw
so-
like a girl.
It's just one of those things,
That's why I'm
to-
a drummer. I wasn't
to
good at
us.
sports.
yeah, it's about the passion. It's about doing this and giving back, really. So
It's always about giving back.
Yeah.
When you're in a creative field, as an artist, in whether you're a painter, whatever you are,
yeah,
you're looking to inspire people and express yourself through it, in hopes that other people can relate and understand that. Like I'm here for you. I understand what
Yeah.
you're going through. Keep going at it. Keep
Yeah.
going at it.
and there's the struggles. I had
Yeah, you might give your
I
guitar
had
to that
little
kid that
bits.
was like you that didn't have a
Yeah.
guitar.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. I'm hoping that's what happens. I'm hoping we can make this an all ages show because I would love it to go to youth, and just I had such a hard time growing up as a kid, and I remember laying there, whether I was hungry or not, in bed late at night, just thinking like, why couldn't somebody, even just one person, just pick one person and that person be me and say, I'm going to help you, and to just go through all that struggle. And now I'm finally almost getting in that position to where I could be that person that tries to help somebody else,
Mhm.
and that's what I want to do going forward.
You
know?
gonna adopt kids or something? I could see you doing that.
I'm selfish with my time because I don't have a lot with my
Yeah.
job, but I'll give
Yeah.
him a guitar. Yeah. Or maybe I'll give him some drums or whatever. It's like, here, be loud, be obnoxious.
Do you guys
you
have
know.
kids? None of
Yes.
you have kids? You have
Yeah,
kids?
yeah, kids.
Oh,
we
yeah,
all
that's
have
right.
kids.
You all
We all
have-
have kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the awesome things that we're doing too is September 8th. We're at the Las Vegas Super Festival.
What
we're
is that?
playing there. It's basically it's kind of in its infancy as a festival, because it's kind of a new up and coming kind of thing. But they're really there to promote school violence and everything else,
Oh.
and just to
Oh,
kind
that's
of bring
cool.
awareness.
There's a lot of
to everything.
bullying stuff that's
Yeah.
going on in
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
that
it's
gets
like
turned,
anti-bullying, school violence, and everything else. It's like that. So we're really happy because A, we all have kids that go to school, and B, it means something, so much to us that we get to be a part of that now.
It's perfect for him.
So-
He was bullied really bad as a kid. He's
Yeah.
got like scars and shit on his arms from it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His only friend was a tree when he was a
Did
kid.
we bring
No.
that up again? we just
No,
had
man,
that talk
come
about
on.
What was
this
the tree's
podcast.
name?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What was its name? You never said its
No,
name.
no, they didn't have a name.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a name for him. I just called it friend.
Oh, it was a him though.
It was a him.
It was a him.
Of
Is
course
that
it
telling?
was.
I think that's
Homo.
revealing. That's for a future podcast.
Yeah.
Revolta.
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 Do you want a sticker?
There we
To
I got
hold
right
up?
here.
You got
Revolta.
one. All right.
Oh, by the way, we have these Revolta stickers, right?
Yes.
From the band Revolta. They were nice enough to sign off the or sign the
Yeah, we're gonna
stickers.
stick one up here on the ceiling.
Yes, we are.
It's gonna be awesome.
With
And,
all the other dick drawings that people have driven.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We like to be between dicks.
Yeah.
There's no coming down from that. Like, we like to be.
like
I
to be
gotta
between
finish the
dicks.
Controversial.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You guys don't have an Instagram?
We do,
Yeah.
but the problem is with Instagram that I've found is that I can post long clips on Facebook, but Instagram
Yeah.
cuts you off in a minute.
Well, they have that
Yeah.
Instagram TV now. You can
They-
do 10
But I mean,
minutes.
people's
clips.
attention span is so.
I know.
That-
3 minutes. 3 minutes is
Just
like.
getting that
I
clip in there
know.
is.
And I post like 20-minute videos of our performances online, which is like, oh, that's embarrassing. But you know what? The way I think of it is that you hit play, you turn it up, you go shower, you go to the bathroom, you do whatever it is. It's like your soundtrack. And like, oh, cool. And at the end, it's played, and we get a view, and you get a soundtrack.
What's your Instagram?
You know?
Is it?
What is
at
your
Revolta?
Instagram?
Revolta NV.
Yeah.
At Revolta NV.
Yeah,
And
and
then
we
your
had to do
Facebook's just
Revolta
Revolta.
NV because Revolta was the awesome. We're gonna give them the awesome shout out to the band in Europe, the metal band.
Is that what it is
Yeah.
on Facebook too?
Same
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Yep.
Revolta NV on
Okay.
Facebook. But if you ping it enough, it gets your regional thing. I've found that it just finds you like, oh, you probably want this
Okay.
Revolta.
So
yeah.
yeah, make sure to follow them on there.
Yeah, Revolta NV.
And your next show is going to be this
September
October.
8th.
September 8th?
September 8th. Yeah, we're playing the Las Vegas Superfest. We might have a show at the end of September, and then a couple nights ago, we made some amazing friends at ACTV, which is the Asian Culture TV, and
Mhm.
ACA, which is the Asian Culture Alliance, and the ACD, which is Asian Culture Day. We went down there, and for promoting the Superfest, we played a couple songs, which should be out before too long, the video of the performance. And everybody there greeted us with open arms, and it was amazing. It's not what you're used to in the music scene, but everybody, they fed us. They brought us beer. They took such good care
Sake.
of us. They loved us there, and we got so many other possible opportunities from there that day. We're going to be at Caesar's Palace in October, because of this, and because they saw what we did and how we wanted to be there for them, and so now we're working together, and there's possibility of us going to China.
Say, you guys are definitely a band that
So-
just doing it right. You guys are definitely taking the right steps.
It's been a lot of work.
Yeah, because I honestly haven't met a lot of bands that write original stuff and are able to go and play in these places like that. Like they're like you're happen to see them a lot, like through media.
You guys
and
play a
stuff.
lot of fucking shows, man.
and that's
Jesus.
I think we haven't.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
doesn't feel
thing.
like
it's
it.
like it doesn't feel like we have.
I'm
but
glad we have that.
I'm used to
presence,
like
but-
these are our
playing 2
practices
shows
now,
a year in
you
your
know?
hometown. Like
Yeah.
that's normal.
yeah.
2 shows a year, because it's
Yeah.
harder to. I think it's way easier to get people to show up to 2 shows versus 8 or 10 throughout the year.
And that's where choosing the venue is really important. Like if we play on Fremont, people are gonna walk in. But if we
Yeah.
play off Fremont or off the Strip or something like that, it's like, okay,
yeah,
we gotta space this out, get the draw in
Promote
kind of
the
thing,
fuck out of
promote
it.
a lot of it
yeah.
and everything too. And even with this thing in October and everything too, I mean, we might have an opportunity to get on like a morning show and promote it, especially because it's for charity. So we'll be able to promote it a lot. But it's one of those things where, yeah, if we're on Fremont, if we're downtown, we don't have to do anything. We just show up and play, and there's people from Germany and Norway
Yeah.
and Japan and Korea and Hawaii and Australia. Everybody's there, and the audience is built in. So,
Have you gotten hits up from shows? A lot?
yeah, you know what?
A
Well,
little bit, yeah.
after the first show that we played, which was for Massive's 10-year anniversary show, one of the bands called us back for the following week to play a show.
What about
and
fan wise?
Fan-wise, we've had some communication. And some of it I've kind of found kind of hard to figure out exactly what it all meant. But I had one person calling me and texting me in odd hours of the day and night. And I at some
Like a
point,
stalker?
at some point,
A lot
already
of
had a
people like his
stalker?
voice. They really love his voice. So
How have you already had a stalker?
I don't know. But at some point, I'll have to take our number down from the Facebook
Yeah,
page.
he put it on ours too, and I was
Yeah.
like, bro, you
I was
shouldn't
getting
have that on
calls.
there.
You were getting calls.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
At some point, like when you start, it's like you have to leave every channel open, because you need
And
the
then
exposure.
quickly you realize that's a terrible idea.
I mean, we are gonna get
Yeah.
eventually. I'm gonna get a business phone for
Yeah.
but that's just gonna be strictly for that.
Yeah, we have an agent now, and I'm just gonna put her number on there.
What's
So,
your agent's
that-
name? Shout her out.
what's her name? Stephanie McGraw. She's fantastic. She's one of the connections that we had to with ACTV and everything. She works with other bands in town. She's a total hustler for getting bands paid and getting bands work and everything. And she's one of the good ones. So, we're really lucky to have her.
Yeah, it's hard to trust them.
Yeah. So like we said, like right now we're looking at Superfest, Caesar's Palace, Sahara Event Center. We're working on some other shows possibly. I don't necessarily want to say the venue names because if it doesn't pan out, I don't want to give them any credit. And then hey, China.
I'm going to Bangkok.
He's going to Bangkok.
With your other band? With these guys?
It was an awesome.
I don't think so.
It was one of those connections that we made the other night. I mean, it was such an inviting.
Just
group
for
of people.
massages?
Yes.
Is it you guys
there
are
were
playing
probably
inside a massage
massages.
parlor?
No, we were approached, and it was basically they want to take American artists and like from every genre, whether it's painting or drawing and sculpture and like whether it's performing art and singers, and they want a band and everything too. And they're like this is exactly what we want, to take all this collection of American artists and go through China to expose them to our culture, which is as diluted as it can be, is an amazing culture that we have here. And this is an amazing place to be and to live and to be a part of, and so that might be a possibility. We might be going to Bangkok.
Well, that's not China.
Or China, I know.
Yeah.
But it was funny. We had this conversation, and James knows this.
I know this.
But,
It was
but
bothering
it sounds
him.
so good.
Just like,
no,
He wants to say something.
it was so funny.
It's not China.
because we knew this the whole time, and even James knew this, but it sounded so good. Like, I'm going to Bangkok. So I'm like, yeah, we really got to take James to Bangkok
I've just heard that.
now.
I'm like, why not? I just say that. Why not?
Yeah, it's like, no, it was perfect. I mean, for the night, it was perfect, and I'm like, I love it.
Well,
I
so
love it. We're gonna put that on our shirts on the back.
My daughter
We're going to
says we
Bangkok.
need band shirts that say "We're big in China."
Yeah.
I think it's a
Awesome.
band, isn't it? I think there's a band called We're Big in China.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Well,
Or
maybe we
I'm
can
Big
meet
in
them.
China, something like
Maybe.
that.
Yeah,
There's
I used to have
definitely
a
band
shirt
called
that said "I'm huge in Japan."
Is that a band?
I don't know.
Oh, Big in Japan was a
Big in
song.
Japan?
Big
Oh,
in
was it a
Japan.
song?
I believe that's
Turning
the song.
Japanese.
My fucking brain is horrible.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's kind of the future for us right now. We want to play as often as we can, but at the same time, we know we're limited because of the genre of music that we do. So we might just have to play for Queens of the Stone Age when they come.
Where are you
through,
guys at
or
with recording?
that kind of stuff? It's hard. We've invested so much time and energy into getting gear and getting the songs worked up and getting all of this other stuff that we're like, we'll get there eventually. But
See, we did the exact opposite.
we do, yeah.
We put all our money into the recording gear and all that shit. And then
yeah.
figure we'll do the live stuff
I
later
was a
and build
live
up a
performer,
following.
and I hate recording. I don't hate recording. I
That's-
just
I
don't
was-
like it.
I was the
It
same.
sucks.
I just don't like it. But I'm like, I
It
don't want to
sucks.
spend all this time recording and spend all this money in there and then not go out and perform and be able to interact with people
Yeah.
and be part of the scene. I wanted to be
Yeah.
part of the scene first, and then I know it might be backwards or whatever, but with the rig that we have, we're able to record our practice sessions because you'll hear what we do tonight. Everything is mic'd. We don't use guitar amps. We don't use bass amps. We've gone high tech. So everything goes into our digital mixer.
A Behringer high tech.
A Behringer high tech. So it's 1984 high tech, but it's really cool. If I had the money to get a computer, we could actually
Super
record
Chinese
multi-track
high-tech.
stuff. It's been fantastic. We
Yeah.
love it. We love it.
good.
And then we have an amazing friend who's also in the industry that helped us set this thing up because there's so many different ways to use it. And I'll give a shout out to him too, Max Karen from Once Human.
There you go.
Amazing
Is that a
guitarist.
local band?
Amazing sound tech. Yeah, Once Human. Amazing metal band. Female vocalist Lauren. Just amazing band. And Max has been on tour in Europe with Ghost for a couple
really?
months.
Yeah.
And now Ghost is going to be coming to America, and Max is going back on tour with him again. So we had a little window to work
That's
with
a
them.
weird
And,
deal.
I-
I tried listening to it, and I don't.
I love it. You know, my
To
my
Ghost,
brother.
I love Ghost.
I give a
Yeah.
shout out
I
to
don't
him.
know why.
You know, my band Master. One of our first shows we played, we opened up for them, and they were very cool to us. So.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure he's a cool dude.
My
Yes.
brother introduced me to him. I'm like, what do they sound like? He's like, well, think of like a metal Blue Oyster Cult. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I listened to it. I'm like, yes,
Yeah, that
that's
makes
what it is.
sense.
And it's awesome. I really appreciate what they do too, because their musicmanship is amazing.
I know
The
their fan base
vocals-
is crazy.
Their fan base is
Every
crazy.
show sells
Their
out.
performances are crazy.
Yeah.
But just I really respect what they do too with the vocals over the music. It's not necessarily something that we set out to try to emulate them, but there's a parallel. You know?
I've always had a problem with bands that have a gimmick, like getting into them. Any time they put face paint on or they have
Yeah.
some kind of gimmick, like
I hate
it
our
takes
Halloween show.
it takes out of the music for me, and I feel like there's
Yeah.
that's a lot of why the reason maybe becoming popular.
Yeah.
Because Kiss are terrible fucking musicians. It's garbage ass
Yeah.
music.
Sometimes, well, and this is one of the whole things though too, is like you can like the music and the music's there, and you can sit there at the bar and hear it, or you could stare at them and it's gonna sound the same, right? And one of the things that I eventually want to incorporate in that too is that I want it to be a show, you know. And that was one of the things when I left Florida. One of our friends' bands that were there started actually doing shows as opposed to just playing a gig. And it was mind-blowing, you know, to be able to do stuff. Because we have such an open stage, you know, why not use it? I want to bring old furniture up there and make it look like some old 70s living room, you know, with the drum kit in the middle. And we're going to, like, walk around on furniture as we're playing. And it's like, why not incorporate all of that
I mean,
stuff?
you are
know?
an entertainer. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Like, I hate Fish, but I've been to a Fish show,
Oh, yeah.
and dude, it was the funnest shit I've ever been to.
Yeah.
They bring $1 million in lighting, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, the lighting just alone.
Yeah.
And there was like
So
8,000 beach balls in the crowd. It was so fun.
I'm hoping that's going to be the next step for us too, is that, you know, we have this, we have the bass, and
A
we're
stage
able
presence.
we're able to not say, okay, here's your 30-minute set, you have 5 minutes to set up, because what we have takes a long time to set up. Like I want to take our time to set up. I want to take an hour or 2 hours to set up and bring stuff in.
Good luck with that.
And have everything, and we'll make
Unless
it happen.
you're opening every time, right?
You know, and that's I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to compromise, because right now there's a lot of compromise with how fast you have to go up there, and we're doing sound checks, and by the time we're playing the first song, I'm catching my breath from moving mics or doing something else. Like I don't even know what's going on half the time. You know, and then all of a sudden we're playing music. So I want it to be an experience for us as much as it is for everybody else.
yeah.
You know.
What are we looking at time wise, Isaac? All right. Yeah, we're gonna have you guys play. Let's have you guys can do
Cool.
2 songs.
Yeah, we could do a couple songs
Yeah.
for you.
All right.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, we'd
Yeah,
love
we're
to.
gonna have them play a couple songs for us. Yeah, make sure to follow them on Facebook. You guys want to plug all your stuff in?
Yeah. That will only take about 2 hours to get set up, and we'll be good to go.
Okay.
What's your other band's name? Mastiff, right?
Mastiff. Yeah.
And what's the Instagram? You have Instagram, Facebook for them?
It's it's mastiff.net. You can go on the internet and it pulls everything.
It's got all the
up.
redirects to everything
Oh,
else
okay.
there.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
But if you
make
just
sure
type in Mastiff, MASTIV, on Facebook, it'll pop up.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Awesome band.
Thanks-
Like I said,
thanks.
since I moved out here, I've only missed 2 shows, and that's because they've been out of town or I've been
Yeah.
out of town. So it's a good time.
We'll come to the next one.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we did. Was the show we went to, that was their show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we took off hella early.
Yeah. I was like,
They're
you guys were
playing
hungry. I
On the
remember.
18th.
Yeah.
You were hungry,
I
and
was
you were
hungry.
And we'd been up
sympathetic.
since like 3 in
Yeah.
the morning, so I was done.
They're playing September 18th with
Yeah.
Bravo Delta.
Yeah, I think Circus
The
Sick
Burr
and-
Union.
over-
That's Triple
yeah.
B.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's gonna be a good show. We're gonna be there in support of that too.
Okay.
So
They
that'll be
very
a good
supportive guys here, so you know whatever happens,
time. Yeah.
Okay.
they're very supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we started this. We've been trying to build like a bigger community for the Vegas entertainment industry. It's kind of spread out everywhere. We're
Yeah,
trying
we-
to get connects everywhere too.
Yeah.
We're
then
trying to
everybody-
just have everyone realize that we're all in this together. We're all, creative people.
That's the big thing. Is everybody work
let's
together.
inspire each other.
Yeah.
Let's communicate. Let's connect.
There's enough
But-
room. There's room for everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
So,
Yeah.
make sure to subscribe, like the video, follow us on Instagram at Neon Tom Productions, follow us on Twitter at Neon Tom Prod, ask us questions. Comment down on the video below. We're gonna be raffling.
Comment on how
Some
little Moy
stickers.
talked this whole episode because he
Yeah.
was
I
so
know.
fucking high over there.
That's-
He barely
And
talked. I
time
think he
went by
said
so
5
fast.
words. God damn, dude. I'm never giving you an edible before this
Edibles.
again.
He just had so much interesting things to like. I was just like so.
You at one point went and got donuts.
Well,
Like,
I'll tell you
that's how
what. You
little
guys
you
can invite us
interacted.
back anytime you want.
Yeah.
And we
How
will.
about that? Cool.
And thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And stick around for a couple
yeah.
songs by them.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Thanks, guys.
Revolta.
Hey, thanks, man.
Time is on my side, is on my side. Always when pain comes, the tide is on the rise, is on the rise. Always when rain comes. Daylight breaking my life, taking my darkness far away. Take me our lives filled with light, the color stars to take a break. Still it begins to sound fills the open space. Cold chill up and down my spine. The blood flows through my veins. Life is so alive. For the first time, my head in the sky. I'll try to do what is right. You in my life, I can be strong. Push myself to be a better man. Every day